That's how I would work. I would not wake up alone and issue statements. I would work through my commissioners. I've looked at their CVs. There are people from different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds. If, Chair, you approve them, in my view, they are quite a team that I should be able to harness. So whatever comes out, whatever statements come out, it will be the commission speaking through the chair. And I want to assure you that I'll not just wake up and make statements like what was made in 2007.
Honorable Wamalwa had concern.
Yes, Honorable Wamalwa asked me about electoral laws and voter identification issues. Chair, Honorable Wamalwa is my area MP from Kiminini. And
I suggest that's a friendly question he has asked you.
Now, I want to imagine, he asked me a difficult question and is my area MP. I believe he wants to bring something out of me. The issue of voter identification is actually the crux of the matter in terms of the recent amendment. And Section 44A is mainly tailored towards voter identification. We have the voter identification devices which will be in place. If you look at some jurisdictions, when, for example, in Ghana, when they started with the same systems, initially there were a lot of problems in 2012 when they voted first. Systems failed and so forth. We also had a lot of problems in 2013. However, Ghana had an election last year and it was successful. Most of the things they were doing improved. I also believe that we shall have improved systems, learning from our experiences in 2013. And therefore, we should be able to have an EVIT system which should identify voters. A question has been, I watched the interviews the presentations in the Senate, and there were a question on whether somebody who doesn't have fingers, who had fingers before, how will he be identified, and so forth. I believe IEBC may have a way forward for that, but if I may give an example of Ghana, in Ghana, what happened last election I think in December, all agents of the party are called if such a case presents itself, and there are not so many such cases. All agents are called. The data is on the computer. The EVIT system is off-grid, so it's just there. It just needs power. The data is on the computer. There's a name, the ID number, the photo. And once all agents and the presiding officer agree that this person is so-and-so, then the person is allowed to vote and the name is marked as the ballot paper is given to him and they vote. So those are things that IEBC should be able to come up with in such very, very rare situations. So to me, that's how I would look at it in terms of the election laws. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chebukati. We'll take other questions from this side. Honorable Chula, you also claim you want to ask a question.
Just one, Chairman.
I thought Honorable Chris Wamalo had asked on your behalf.
Wamalo is just my friend and my neighbor.
Okay, Honorable Chula, and yes. Then Honorable Manyi, Wayenya, Njoroge, in that order.
Chairman.
We'll take for question. And then Honorable Neto here. That will be the last one. And then we'll come back to you. Well, okay. In terms of gender parity, you'll allow Honorable Kajuju to ask as the last.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yeah. My question is to Mr. Chebukati. This regards your relationship with Philip Kiniso. Yes. You've read about issues coming up concerning your relationship, whether the relationship between you and Kinisu, the former EACC chair, is personal or professional. Whether your relationship is personal or professional. That's all.
Thank you, Chair. The Chair, you've told us here that during the first advert, you did not apply. When this was done the second time, you realized 2 names were given to His Excellency the President, and according to the way you scored, the other nominee scored more than you. Now my question is, did you lobby to get this position, or it just came sheer luck?
I am sure Honorable Mamanyi didn't play any sport pesa, so Honorable Ayenya on a light note.
Wafula Chebukati, in 1997, you are a member of the committee that investigated the Likoni clashes. And you know very well, since 1992, most of the elections we have held in this country have been characterized by tribal clashes. We had tribal clashes in 1992. 1997, we had the Likoni clashes. In 2008, we had post-election violence. As the chairman of IEBC, if you are confirmed, what would be the solution to peaceful movements and cohesion during the time and after general elections?
Honorable Jeroge.
Thank you, Chairman. I think Honorable Amaro should declare his interest on this, and I hope we will not ask a favor from the chairman because he's here. And now, that was, by the way, I'm asking because in this country we have seen returning officers openly re-election, and we have example of Starehe in 2007 and Kamukoja and recently in Madare. What recommendation would you give for such officers who have done that openly? And because we have never seen a returning officer being prosecuted for such offenses. 2, we have a history of perennial losers in Kenya, always crying and saying that they have been rigged out. Will you be intimidated by these people? Thank you.
Honorable Neto.
Thank you, Chair. I was still consulting with Honorable Kajuji, but that doesn't impede the questions I want to ask. I want to ask 3 questions to the Chair. The first, you said when you're responding that part of the problems that the current the commissioners that were ousted suffered was issues of credibility and trust, if I heard you right in terms of your answer. If that is true, there are allegations that you are acting for Nairobi City County at some point. And one of the things you've been accused of, if at all it's true you're acting for Nairobi City County, was professional negligence in certain cases. How does that measure on your credibility and trust, being the chair of a serious commission such as this? The second thing is with regard to your experience. I've looked at your CV, a very good student of at the London School and everything else. Your competence is in maritime laws. And we know for a fact that the IEBC is a place where there's going to be immense pressure and a lot of other things. What, in your view, are the important and urgent challenges of the commissioners that are incoming, if at all you make it as chair? What are the incoming challenges? What do you think is more pressing for the commissioners to do? But also, given that your only experience with elections was a general election in 2007, 2008, and you since then have run away from anything elections, anything political, how will you handle the pressure being the chairman of IEBC should things go out of hand in 2017? Third, and lastly, you've said that you're a transformational leader. What does this mean? What does it mean to be a transformational leader? And how would your transformational leadership move the commission forward? And very lastly, have you ever had a chance where you've had a conflict of interest on any issues? And how did you ever resolve that conflict of interest? Thank you very much.
Last one, Honorable Kajuju.
Thank you, and I think it's a pleasure that we have this opportunity to speak to you, because I believe that, what you are seeking as a chair of IEBC is a job that you really must deliver for Kenyans if you get it. Now, I've noted from your CV that you are a member of the Orange Democratic Party until you decided to apply for this job. So did you resign just for convenience, or it is in your interest that that is the party that you believe in? And do we foresee a situation where there could be a possible conflict of interest between your having been a member of that party and now the position that you're seeking to hold? Number two, if we look at the timelines, the time that you have if you get this job and the date of the elections, you barely have 7 months, so to speak, for you to put in a team of commissioners who are fresh, new, and for you to be able to work with the chief executive officer and his team about synergy and be able to deliver a credible election. So how can we get your assurance and this committee and the country at large that you're really going to have a team and make sure that you synergize for you to do the work that you're supposed to do if you get the job? And the last question is, normally we know in Kenya, after elections, there are normally very many petitions to the Supreme Court, presidential. We have cases in court from the MCA level to the highest level. So how prepared would you be to take up challenges at the nomination stage and also at after the general elections? Do you think you're the man fit for this job? Or do you think you're going to take off after, like you did in 2007 when you attempted to vie for the Saboti parliamentary seat? We need your assurance, Mr. Chebukati.
Yes, I'm going to give a final one to Honorable Dio Cheng, Member of Parliament for Ugenya. But just a clarification, as you will answer Honorable Kajuju's.
Yes.
It is not that you attempted, you actually vied and lost. That is a true position. So that it is not seen that you actually ran away from the hot competition from Honorable Eugene Wamalo. Honorable Cheng, please.
Thank you so. Thank you so much, Council. My name is Ochieng. I come from Ugenya. The reason I asked for the floor is just to follow up on what Honorable Kajuju has asked. That the reason you were actually sent to the name was sent to the president that you are a safe hand, that you've been doing very badly in practice, that are looking for a job. Who asked you to apply? Two.
Honorable Cheng, let me hear.
Let me say it again.
Yes. Can I hear?
My question is very specific.
Yeah.
That Mr. Chebukati is a safe hand. He can't rock the boat. And that he's been doing very badly in practice. He's looking for a job. And that...
Is that based on evidence or...
No, I'm just putting him to him. From what I personally have heard about him and all that. And so I wanted to know, did someone ask you...
So yours is an anecdote, so that...
Yes, that's why I said it's a follow-up question.
Okay.
Did someone... Did someone ask you to apply for this job? And then two, can you tell this committee what you think your role specifically as regards the presidential election and the announcing of the results of the presidential election? Your specific role in that regard. And finally, how do you intend to work with the CEO of IEBC, who is from your own ethnic extraction? And if it comes to the fact that either of you must leave because of fair regional balance and ethnic equation, what will be your take on that? Thank you.
You know, I am tempted to allow all the questions to be asked. And then you will answer all the questions, because I see some, they are almost close by. So that we allow everybody an opportunity to ask you questions.
Yes, yeah.
Because as we agreed, we will ask you questions for 1.5 hours. And then we close. That's an agreement. So I want to give Honorable Mbaka, Honorable Fatuma, Honorable Dawood, and then Honorable Mutura. And that is it. We start with Honorable Mbaka.
Thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. My questions, I have 2 questions. One is that the IEBC, or rather the electoral body, since 2007, have lost credibility. People have lost faith and trust. And anybody who's working for IEBC or any electoral body is not trusted by anybody in either party. What are you going to do to redeem the image of the electoral body? In this context, it is IEBC. Remember that Kivuit 1 just left and people were dissatisfied and we ended up with post-election violence. What are you going to do to ensure that the IEBC is well run and that it is credible enough for us to trust the results and that there will be no violence at the end of it? What are your strategies? Can we see how you can handle this election so that we don't end up in the manner that we ended up in 2007? The second one is, what lessons would you learn from the Ghana experience? African countries that have done well, but who used to be, messy during elections, they tend to be improving. Is there anything that you could learn from Ghana that you may want to introduce in Kenya today? Thank you.
Honorable Mbaka, before you came, he gave us some extensive experience. I don't know whether he has participated or he just read from the Ghanaian experience. Maybe we'll just answer that in light of what she has asked. Honorable Dawood.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Chebukati, I want to ask, what is your relationship with the ODM leader? Because knowing you've been in ODM for the last, not just 10 years, because you competed 10 years back, and it's just last month when you have resigned. Could you probably give us the relationship between you and Honorable Raila Odinga? The second one is, if this position did not come up of chair of IEBC, would you have contemplated going back to politics in 2017, standing in a parliamentary seat? And if you did, which party would you go to? Thank you.
Another one is hypothetical, but you will make an attempt to answer. Honorable Mutura.
Thank you, Chair. I want to ask the nominee, when he was campaigning in 2007, which election malpractice did he face, be it defacing your opponent, posters, treating, bribery? Can you give us your really experience in during the electoral practice, malpractice, and what needs to be done? And another issue is, we are talking of the IBC as an independent commission, but the way things are now, it is like the commission is taking direction from the politician. How do you want to bring sanity and independence of that commission?
Thank you, Mutura. Now, Mr. Chebukati, you don't have to repeat some questions which you have answered. What Honorable Mutura is asking is what you had already stated, that in fact your Form 16 was stolen, your house was broken into, and that you intended to petition, but you didn't have anything to petition. So he has some experience. Honorable Fatuma.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, the nominee for this position. I want to ask 3 questions. One question is about your ethnicity and the number of chairs of different public institutions. If you look at the chair of the National Police Service Commission is from your region, Western. The newly appointed chair for EACC is from Western.
Point of order from Honorable Vaya.
So, Chair, I'm just wondering, is that a fair question to the candidate who is not in any way involved in influencing appointment to those commissions?
No, thank you, Honorable. I wanted to hear the full question of Honorable Fatuma, and then I will rule as to whether you will be required to answer that question.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I agree with you. I think Honorable Vaya needs to listen to the full question. Honorable Chair, my question is, there are three critical institutions that are headed by people from one community: National Police Service Commission, Anti-Ethics Commission, and now the Gender Commission, and now the IEBC. And the likelihood of our assessment and our assumption is this is another way of taming the Western province to vote for Jubilee. And it seems that it's a negotiated,
So what is the question?
Appointments to attract and force the Western people to vote for Jubilee. What is your view about this kind of appointment that is negotiated, and how will it affect your performance in terms of carrying out independent, accountable, and fair election? Chair, my next question is...
and the last one.
Chair, my next question is, there is an allegation that as a law firm, your law firm has handled a lot of cases of NYS. NYS is the epicenter of corruption in this country, is one of the landmark corruption for Jubilee, and you represented many.
Chair, I think it's wrong for the point of order, Chair.
Chair.
What's the point of order, Honorable?
I think it's totally out of order for Honorable Fatuma to allege that the corruption that is said to have taken place, because it's a mere allegation as we speak about NYS, that it has anything to do with the Jubilee government. She should apologize or substantiate, Chair, on what exactly she means, or if she has the facts to table them before the Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable
knows that NYS is corruption.
I think what Honorable Fatuma is merely asking is what she has also read in the press, that you indeed were acting for Mr. Kinisu, who is said to have benefited from NYS monies one way or the other. So maybe he's saying, were you paid using that money? No. Just order members, order. Yeah, order.
Even when you send someone,
yeah.
You actually know.
No.
What offenses you.
Order members. Order members. You know, Mr. Chebukati is a very senior lawyer. You know, having graduated earlier, 2 years earlier than me, I believe is the competence and the capacity to answer all these questions, whether they are adverse or otherwise.
Yes.
So
can I conclude, Chair?
We will not protect you, Mr. Chebukati, as a senior lawyer. I'm sure you have been handling some of these cases in court, having been the chair of the Bombokaya clashes. So I'm sure you're able to
Chair,
deal with some of these things.
Can I conclude my question?
Conclude,
Chair, I think we need to appreciate that.
But don't be too adverse, eh?
Chair, yes, I'll try.
Yeah.
Chair, I think we need to interrogate the chair or the nominee for that position. It's a critical position.
Yes.
And you don't belong to any party. You're not in Jubilee. You've said you've been friends with the ODM, but I'm not sure that one. But I think we need chair to ask critical questions, because Kenyans are crying for a chair which will be trusted. Chair.